Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt. Got a standard ammunition test today, that's why you all stopped by, in our favorite caliber, 9mm. This is 124 grain full metal jacket from ZQI. Not sure how many of you remember, but probably about 10 years ago, ZQI was a brand that you could find at Walmart. There was 9mm, 308, and 5.56. It was brass case. That stuff ran out, and I used to pick it up for very cheap when you could come buy it. This one's a little different though. This is a nickel-plated steel case. Very interesting. The nickel from our close-up looks very nice. We'll throw this guy on the table, and we're going to talk about what we're going to do today. As with all of our 9mm testing, I have about 5 barrel lengths that we try to use for our testing, sometimes more if we have extra ammunition, but usually it's a 3-inch, a 4-inch, a 4.95-inch, 7.72, and then the 16 if we have it. We have our Pro Chrono Digital DLX at about 12 feet. It's 85 to 90 degrees outside today. Keeps going from partly cloudy to fully sunny. In full transparency, ZQI sent me this giant box of ammunition for us to test in various platforms just to kind of get that general feedback and get that review that I like to provide on ammunition so that you guys have good information when you're making those buying decisions. We'll get everything set up and we'll get into today's test. We'll start with our shortest barrel length, which is our 3-inch Springfield Hellcat. Very nice little subcompact pistol. I've got the Apex flat-faced trigger in there. I love the factory sights on this gun. Pretty snappy recoil for a 124 grain. Now on to our 4-inch. This is a Glock 19 Gen 4 MOS. We have a hollow sun mounted up top. That I didn't turn on. Not too bad. We are still subsonic in our 4-inch. I wonder if the next barrel length will get us into the super. And now to throw a little bit of a curveball for you all that have been watching for a while. Normally I would have the Smith & Wesson M&P core, but now I've got the Arex Delta Gen 2 long slide with a 4.5-inch barrel. Currently doing a review on this. Got a hollow sun mounted up top. So far, kind of liking the nickel plating on this steel case. It's not a wash, it's more of a solid plating. I'm not getting any of that weird residue coming off of it from the coating wiping off, so that's a good thing. It seems to be loading in the magazines very well. That's one of my issues with a plain steel case or some of the lacquer coated steel casings is when you load them in the magazines, they're not as slippery or slick as a brass or nickel, so they don't load as easy. So far I haven't had that issue. Still running subsonic with these, but so far we're getting good function. And now for our 5-inch barrel. This is another gun you probably haven't seen on the channel before. This is the MK9 Banshee from CMMG. This is, I think, the 300 series. It's got the Cerakote finish, their oversized ambidextrous charging handle. Very nice setup. This particular one takes the Colt magazines. were supersonic that time. Now on to my favorite pistol caliber carbine. This is our CZ Scorpion Evo 3 S1 SBR. This has a 7.72 inch barrel on it. Got a whole bunch of HBI parts on there. Love this gun. Got the air gun trigger in here. I'm not sure when AR15.com is gonna finish my review for that, but I turned in my project. Not sure if you guys can see that from the camera, but I'm noticing some sparks coming out of the barrel. And finally, our longest barrel length. This is a 16-inch AR-9. Borrowed this from a friend. I don't believe anybody really makes any barrel lengths longer than 16 for 9mm. Drop a comment below if you know anybody that does. This particular AR-9 takes Glock magazines. One less magazine you gotta buy. And that's it. Not too bad. Let's move on to our accuracy portion, and we'll probably throw a few montages in here of me blasting away at this ammunition to see how it runs in different guns. This is our ZQI steel case, nickel plate. Here was our first group, 1.176 inches. Our best group, which was the second at 0.941 inches. Then our third group, which immediately followed the second, 1.363 inches. It was pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So this one little one's a flyer there, kind of similar pattern there. This was a warm-up group to walk the scope on our target at 25 yards. Using that 18 power SL line primary arms in our Burris QD mount. Not going to complain about that. We have shot better, but from a full metal jacket, pretty accurate. There is minimal to no wind today. It's about 85 degrees outside. Aw, sad creator noises. I'm all out of donated ammunition, so that means I probably should wrap up this testing. We had pretty good velocity from this 124 grain loading from ZQI. As far as our accuracy goes, par for the course. You know, I always say your mileage may vary. There's a lot of different variances that can make this more accurate in your gun or vice versa, but we had pretty good averages from that. Throughout our testing, we put approximately 450 rounds of our steel case nickel-coated ZQI through all the different various guns and barrel lengths that I bring out here to the range when doing testing, and I had exactly 0 stoppages. I think the biggest allure to this ammunition is that nickel coating. When you load magazines with brass or nickel-coated brass, or in this case the nickel-coated steel case, it loads in magazines really easy. If you shot a lot of steel case ammunition, you know sometimes when you get down in there in the 10, 12, 15 out of 20 rounds in your magazines, that stuff gets pretty hard on the thumbs to push in there. So I think that was a big positive on this. I like the smaller footprint of this box compared to some of the other offerings. That means I can stack more of it in tighter spaces much easier. I like the little plastic tray in there. And the cardboard seems to be decent enough quality that it can, you know, take some banging around in your car, and it's not going to rip the flap off or something and blow apart in your back seat like I've seen with some of the other ammunition boxes. One final thing I wanted to note on our ZQI ammunition before I close out and send you on your way is that this steel case ammunition is actually boxer primed. Typically, any of the Russian ammunition that we get in stateside that's steel case is Berdan primed. And while it doesn't make reloading impossible, it makes it a challenge compared to a typical boxer primed case setup. Now, I don't have any 9mm bullets at home. I have powders and primer, but I don't have any 9mm bullets for some reason. But I ran about 20 of these through my RCBS carbide dies, and they all resized very easily, especially with that nickel coating on it. This case does have an internal ridge on the inside, which helps control overall length. So if you chamber and unchamber around a lot, you're going to avoid bullet setback, or I think in the manufacturing process, having that internal ridge in there helps them control that overall length so that you're not overseating a bullet in there and causing a potential overpressure issue. I did recover most of these casings from our outing, so if you'd like to try your hand at reloading these and then provide me with some feedback on how the primer pockets hold up or how the coating holds up over multiple loadings, drop me a comment below, and if you live in the United States and you're the first person to comment, I will send you what I have of these free of charge. Well, everyone, it's about time for me to pack up and get out of here because the mosquitoes are starting to come out in full force, and I've got steak and rice for dinner. So at the end of all my videos, I take a moment to thank all those who helped make these possible, especially in 2021. Number one is my Patreon supporters. Number two is ZQI Ammunition, who in full transparency sent me a case of that ammunition for me to test and give you a good unbiased review on. And of course, number three is you all for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you at the range. A review isn't complete without a mag dump. Your gun more accurate than my friend's gun or vice versa, but we had pretty good average. Damn it. Things that could make your load. Take 72.